Okay, so I said I was going to wear this wig for the rest of the year. Wig tapes fail. I'm not doing lace glue. So what I'm going to do is take the wig, cut a piece of the lace off, and have some leave out, and then I'm going to treat it like a quick weave. So I think I need to cut these combs off so that they're not in the way. And like I said, cut the piece of lace off. I'm probably going to I want to do a middle part still, so I'm going to cut a little off to the side, the non-dominant side. I guess that's what I'm calling it, the non-dominant side that I'm using, and then a good chunk off the other side because I want to wear my part on the right. So let's see how this comes out. I got the idea from this girl because she had did this elevator pattern with her tracks and just glued them all on. So I'm like, why can't you just quick weave glue your wig down, right? I hope so. We'll see. So I'm just combing through the leave out to prep it to, I was gonna dye the wig and dye my leave out blue black. You know, my favorite color. And these braids that I have in my hair, I think I've had them in for at least 3 weeks now. I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, I'll wash it. I don't feel like doing all that. I guess I'm giving no wash October, November, maybe even December. But I had been doing my moisturization routine, and I'm going to leave all of those products down, linked below, because I feel like they're great things that you need to saturate your hair with. And it's great because I am deciding to put this wig on my hair. Your hair needs to be moisturized and nourished. I don't care what anybody says about your hair needing to be clean before you put the product on to make it stick better. That's a setup, because eventually your hair will become brittle after doing that so many times. And because that's where I found myself at on my hair growth journey. Like, there's so many things that I stopped doing in the past, and now my hair just seems so brittle, and that's what I feel like I can attest to when it comes to not having done that stuff over the years and cutting that out of my routine. This K18 HeatBounce, this is if you don't get anything else, get this, especially if you are a blow dryer like me, if you are a flat iron. I feel like I'm a part-time straight natural. That product elevated my silk press, so I know it's doing something when it comes to protecting my hair from the heat. It felt so soft and so, like I said, bouncy after my blow dry. So I braided down my leave out, and if you're asking why I left out so much hair, it's because, I don't know if I said it in the beginning, but I'll say it now. I want a middle part and I want a hard side part. I want those both of those options. And I am not a quick weave expert, so if it looks like I'm doing something wrong, guess what? I agree with you. So because I didn't care about my bulky braids, I felt like I needed to cut out the combs just to eliminate some kind of bulk, because I know it was not going to lay flat, but I didn't plan on wearing my hair super straight, so that really wasn't going to be a problem to me. This style, honestly, is just to stay out of my hair. Something simple, something cute to stay out of my hair, because my hair is still in a fragile state, and being mindful of that, I'm trying to put it away for the next 3 months. For the most part. I'm not going to say I'm not going to touch it at all. I might not even keep this in for that long. But anywho, that was me cutting out the combs. And now this is where I go about trying to measure out. Now this was pretty hard. Measure out where I want to cut out the lace. Now, yes, clearly it is already sectioned out. But this is where neatness comes into play. because if you don't have your hair flat, like with how you laid your hair underneath the cap and all that, which I do have some stray hairs, you could risk cutting your hair. So be very careful and very, very mindful if you do decide to do something like this. Mind you, no, I did not watch any kind of tutorial, so I'm just making this up on my own because, like I said, I got this idea from something completely different for the most part. So I'm trying to measure it out. As I started to measure it out, I also kept in mind that when I go to put this on, as you'll see here in a second, I have to put the glue on the lace in a way so that it doesn't get on my hair. I guess I could have tried to put something, now that I'm talking to you guys about it, I guess I could have tried to put something on top of my leave out to protect it while I was doing this. And then I also had in mind, I'm like, is this even gonna stick, because it's glue on a lace and not on a track. So no, yeah, I had a whole bunch of thoughts in my head, but well, you'll just have to stick around to see the outcome. So on to the next side. Something was going on back there, so I had to take the scissors and cut a little bit more of that lace off because I felt like it was coming too high up onto my leave out. But technically, in the end, it actually wasn't. Just gotta wait till the end for that. Anyways, cutting it off so that I don't get any glue on my hair. I cannot stand getting glue on my hair. I know people say that there's all these different ways of how to get it out. No, it doesn't work for me. It does not work for me. I can't do it. I can't deal with it. So after cutting that excess, we put the glue on there, as you can see. A good amount of glue, because like I said, I was not for sure the effects that the glue was going to have when it came to a good strong hold from between the glue and, the lace and the cap. So, which, okay, we'll talk about it later. Anyway, giving it a good blow dry, making sure it's getting nice and tacky. And initially, I planned on gluing this whole thing down, but when I thought about it, I'm like, I don't need to do that. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm like this. There's this girl that I follow. She said that she used to be a hairstylist. They're just like shortcuts that I am going to take. I'm going to take those shortcuts because I don't need to do all of that. I don't need a super secure wig, because for what? I'm going to probably take it down sooner than I anticipated or that I planned. So I'm not doing all of that. Unless I had to put a ponytail up in the back or something like that. And if that was the case, I would have left hair out, which I didn't do. So, all of those factors that might apply to somebody else, they're not applying right now. So don't try to make them stick. They won't, okay? If it doesn't apply for you as well, why you gotta do all that? Why do you have to do all that? It's not even that serious. It's not. As long as you look cute, as long as it came out nice, as long as it's sturdy, the wind ain't gonna blow it away, you're good. You're good. You're great. So I ended up giving the wig a big chop. Yep. Because my leave out and the wig just weren't matching, and all of a sudden the wig started to get kinky. Yeah, I'm not brushing this all day. It's probably because it's older, so it is what it is. But as I was admiring my chop, looks cute, we like it, we love it, it's getting very, very natural. I was also admiring some split ends on my leave out, so we're gonna go ahead and cut those. So forget whatever I was talking about. I don't remember. I need to say this. If you're wondering why is she gluing on a wig versus just gluing on some tracks? Guess what? I had this wig for a long time. I didn't want to buy no hair, but I didn't want to wear no lace on my head and glue it down. I don't like lace glue. I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't like lace glue at all. So when I got the wig tapes, I did mention that in the beginning of the video. So when I got the wig tapes and they didn't work out, I was just like, I was so defeated. Kind of, sort of. But It's like, yeah, let me just go ahead and try this idea that I made up in my head so that I don't have to buy any new tracks, because why, when I have this wig that's perfectly fine that I can glue to my head and get the same results, you know? So that's where all that came about, you know. Will I do a quick wig with some tracks later on? Absolutely. Do I have plenty of other wigs that I can try this experiment out on? Absolutely. And I did not glue down the whole wig. I know I partially said that, but I did not glue down the middle at all, like at all. So it's just free balling. But in the back, I did glue it down so it don't, because that I could potentially see that flipping up, and we don't want that. Other side. This one really didn't have that much. But it's like so uneven. It's probably just because of how it's out. So of course when I take my hair down, I'll have to go back and cut it out. Cut it properly. Braids is like causing the wig. It's crazy. Unbalance is crazy because there's this lump here. And it's because of the way that my braids are laying. And the wig isn't even like tight, or like it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I still like the look.